Hello and welcome to Mastering Microsoft Excel video series. This is video number 12. We are going to talk about VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP functions. These are very important functions when you got to take data from one sheet to another sheet or one file to another file. Before writing these formulas, we need to understand the basics of these formulas. So let's get into it and understand the basics. We'll get into the Excel and start writing this formula. So let's understand the basics of this formula. Now, there are two types of functions when it comes to this lookup. One is VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. But before we go into that, let's understand why do you need the lookup function? Where exactly you would be required to use this formulas in. When you have to extract data from one table to another table, yes, you need the help of lookup formula, and this extractions from one table to another table will happen using a common reference value. The extractions can happen between the worksheets and between the workbooks as well. Now let's get into the Excel screen to understand what do we what do we mean by extraction. See, I have a file which contains the details about all the purchase orders which I am releasing. Okay, so this is the master file which contains detail about all the purchase orders. Now I have another file where I've got only the purchase order numbers, but I don't have the details of those purchase orders. So my objective here is to get the details of each of these purchase order number, in which date we are billed in and which date we delivered, how many units we supplied, and what's the bill amount for this PO number. Likewise, for every PO number, I have to do it. Now, let's say if you're very new to the lookup function and if you have such a work to do, they said, hey, any details about the PO numbers, you can see it in the PO master data. So they've given you two Excel right now. One Excel is this one which contains only the PO number, and other Excel which contains the details about all the PO numbers. Now if I am a common man, what I would do is, if I'm not aware of the lookup formula, so I would take each of this PO number from here. I will press Ctrl C to copy, and I go to this file where I have the details of all the PO numbers. I press Ctrl F, FS and France to find that PO number. I paste that PO number which I copied from that file, and I'm going to find this where it is present. So once I found it, then what I will do, I will take the required information from this row where I found that PO number. Yeah. So this is how I'll be doing it for each and every PO number. So this is where the lookup formula comes into play. So this is what I meant by the first statement: data extraction from one table to another table using a common reference value. So which was acting as a common reference value for us? The common reference value was the PO number. Am I right? So this PO number column is present in the master data as well and the formula writing file as well. So this is the common column which will help me to extract the data from the master data. So this data which contains detail about all the PO numbers, I'm going to call it with the jargon master data or master file. I'm going to call this file as a master file, and the file where we are going to write the formula, I'm going to call that as formula writing file, okay, or the report file. So now we understood the first statement of the explanation. You need the lookup formula. Okay. Now there are two types in it. How do I decide which one to use at what situation? Now I want to extract the PO number details from this master data, right? Now this is a vertical table. This is a vertical table. And how an horizontal table would look like? An horizontal table would look like something like this. So this is a horizontal table where my headers are here. My data is captured across the column. And whenever I want to extract data from a horizontal table, then I would be using HLOOKUP formula. But when I'm going to extract data from a vertical table where the headers are kept column wise and data are tracked row wise, when I'm going to extract the data based on a vertical table, I'll be using vertical lookup. So in this requirement, I have to search each of this PO number on this vertical table, and we need to extract the required information for those PO numbers, right? So because I'm going to extract from the vertical table, we are going to use the VLOOKUP function. Now, before we write this formula, is there something I have to check on my side so that I will not face any error while I'm writing the formula? So let's check it out on the notes. What are the things I have to take care? So now you guys understood when do you need to think about lookup formula? What are the major types in it? And how do I decide which formula to use when? Okay, now what is a checklist? What are things I have to take care before writing this formula so that I will not get any errors in? Now, the first checklist item, common column in the master data should be leftmost column. Common column in the master data should be the leftmost column. Okay, so I told you already, whenever I say master data, I'm talking about the file where we are going to extract the data from. So this is the file where we are going to extract the data from to this file. So this is my master file. So common column of the master data. That's what the statement says. Common column in the master data, which is the common column PO number. Okay, so common column in the master data. We are clear on common column. We are clear on master data. Let's finish the rest of it. Should be the leftmost column. So let's check it out. Is it the leftmost column? Actually, no, because the first column is serial number. Okay, so why do I need to make sure it's a leftmost column? See, your VLOOKUP formula basically will help you to extract the information which is present on the right hand side of the common column. So anything which is after the common column are all completely extractable. But anything which is present on the left hand side of the common column, you would not be able to extract it. What do I mean by that statement? Suppose if your common column is going to be kept like this. So PO number is here. It's not in the leftmost side. Watch closely now. Anything towards right hand side of the common column. That means delivery date, actual payment date, and credit period. Only these information I can extract because they are on the right side. Whereas the rest of the informations I cannot extract because they are on the leftmost side of the common column. So in order to make sure that we don't get into these problems, we usually make sure that the common column is the leftmost column. So if you could see that I kept my PO number as a leftmost columns, I don't have to worry about anything because everything else is on the right side of the common column. So everything is completely extractable. So that's the advantage we have right now. Yeah. But once you understand the nuances of this formula, once you are clear with the basics, the improvisations can be made in your formula later stages. Okay. So now we have taken care of the first checklist. Okay, the second checklist says data type of the common column in both the master and the report file should be same. Okay, it's a pretty longer sentence, but let's read it again. Data type of the common column in both the master and report file should be same. So what do we mean by data type, my friend? See, let's take, what do I mean by data type? See, this is a number, right? And this is a text, and this is alphanumeric. So let's say your PO number is completely number, okay, not alphanumeric. The common column is not alphanumeric. If it's completely number, then you need to make sure that this column is also containing only numbers, and this file PO number column is also containing only numbers. What do I mean by that? Sometimes what happens is when you have numbers extracted, when the PO numbers or when you extract data from external sources like SAP or any other ERP or CRM systems, sometimes what happens, the numbers would look something like this with the green dots on the top left corner. So that means this is actually looks like a number, but it's not a number. As you can see, it's already left aligned. If you keep the mouse over this particular prompt, it's saying number in this cell is formatted as a text. So this is what I meant by the data type. Suppose in one of the file you have the PO numbers in this format, whereas in another side, whether it's the master or the report, the other side, if you simply have the number like this, then what happens is this is a text and this is a number, so it won't work. Your formula will not give you the result. You will face an error, so you will be breaking your head. See, value is there, still I'm not getting it, but when I go back and type this value manually, my formula is working. That's because you have, when you typed it, you have already converted that to number. So remember, when you face such an issues, the easier way is just select that column. When you see this kind of exclamation mark, you can click on that downward arrow and say convert to number. It will get the job done. Okay, so just make sure the common column which you are using between the files should be the same data type. Now in our case, the PO number is the common column. It's an alphanumeric. Alphanumerics are always considered as a text, so you don't have to worry about that data type issues. But the data type issue is something which you have to really worry if the common column value is purely a numerical value. So take care of that. Yeah, so let's go back to the notes. We are clear with the two checklist item and we are ready to go ahead and start writing the formula. So now let's go ahead and start writing the formula. Equal to VLOOKUP. There are four inputs we have to feed for this formula: lookup value, table array, column index number, range lookup. So there are four inputs. Let's go ahead and look at the notes and try to understand each of these inputs. Lookup value, value to be searched in the master data common column. So in the master data common column means in the master data PO number column. In the PO number column, what is the value I want to search? Well, obviously I want to search this PO number. So I want to search this PO number in the PO number column of the master data. So lookup value is nothing but the value which I want to search in the common column of the master data. Okay, comma. Then table array. So whenever it says table array, let's understand what do we mean by table array. Select the entire master data. So which is our master data? The file which contains the details about all the PO numbers, and that's our master data. So we're going to select the entire master data right now. So I'm going to click on the first header, which is the PO number, which we have already shifted as a leftmost column. Control Shift down arrow, right arrow. We have selected the entire master data. So that's what meant by table array. So let's go to the formula bar on the top to complete the rest of the formula. Yeah, so we could see here B2 comma, then it also shows the file, the sheet, the cells which you have selected. Yeah, so remember that most of the time the master data would be available as a separate Excel. Suppose if you have it in the same Excel in a different sheet, after you selected your table, make sure you make that reference as an absolute reference. We need to have the dollar sign. But when you take the master data from a different workbook or a different file, the dollar symbol part will come in automatically. You can see here we got the $A, $1, $L, 5001. So that came in automatically because the master data is coming from a different Excel. But if you are selecting from the same Excel from a different sheet, it is your responsibility to get the dollar sign. How do we get it? Using the F4 key, which we have seen in the video number 4. Yeah. Okay, we have selected. So the first input, what you want to search. The second input, where you want to search, comma. The third input. So let's talk about the third input, column index number. So what's the notes for it? Column index number means type the position of the column from the common column of the master data containing the value to be extracted. Okay, type the position of the column from the common column of the master data containing the value to be extracted. So we are writing this formula to extract we are writing this formula to extract what information of the PO number. Let's go ahead and find it out. What information? Billing date, correct? So we need to go and see where is the billing date in the master data from the common column. So from the common column, we have to start counting the column numbers. So that is nothing but the position of the column which contains a value which I want to extract. So I want to extract the billing date. So let's start counting from the PO number. So PO number column is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the billing date is available in the 8th column from the PO number column. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, I want you to extract 8th column information from the master data, because 8th column is the one which has the billing date. Comma. Okay, the last input is range lookup, but I have a choice here which says true approximate match, false exact match. Okay, now let me tell you here when to use which one. Okay, so let's go to the notes right now. Okay, range lookup. Here we have it. So they're saying you need to use true when you want to categorize a value based on a range. Actually, I'm not trying to do any kind of categorization here. I am trying to extract data from one table to another table by searching that PO number. So I want the formula to go and search for the exact match of that PO number and do the extraction for me. So whenever you do the data extraction from one table to another table, we would always use the false option, not the true. Okay, but in the coming up videos, I'll show you when do you need to go ahead and use the true logic in VLOOKUP. But in this video, we're going to see when to use the false. So false is the option for you when you're extracting data from one table to another table. So you're literally telling the formula that, hey, when you are going and to the master data for searching this PO number, please make sure you look for the exact match of the PO number. So to look for the exact match of the PO number, which option I need to go for? False. I don't want an approximate match. I need the exact match. If you don't find an exact match, just give me error. I will understand that there is some issue, but don't give me something approximate or closer. I don't need that. Okay, so close the bracket and that completes our formula. So the first input is what you want to search, the second input where you want to search, the third input which column in the master data contains information you want to extract, and the last option is when it is searching your common value in the master data, do you want to search for the exact match or approximate match? We need the exact match. So when I hit enter, you could see it has pulled up the billing date for that particular PO number. So let's go ahead and find it. It says 2nd of June 2020. Let's copy this and let's do a search over there to find it. Okay, I'm going to validate it quickly. So this is our PO number and the billing date for it is 2nd June 2020. We got that perfectly right. So it has done the job. So for the rest of the PO numbers, I'm just going to double click, and that's going to get the details for the rest of the PO numbers. So you can see how faster it pulled up the value. Now imagine if I'm not sure about this lookup formula, I would have been doing this manually for each one, find and search and extract. All those are pretty lengthier and tedious process. So lookup function gets your job done easier. Now look at the result what you got right now. You got the billing date for most of it, but for some of the PO numbers, you didn't get the result. You got NA, not available error. So what this error is telling you, hey, this PO number, which you asked me to search in the master data is not available. That's what it is saying, because you asked me to look for the exact match. Remember, we used false exact match. So there is no exact match for it. So that's what it is saying. So it is asking, by looking at it, I can understand, okay, these two are not there in that master data. So there should be some issue on that. I can stop over here, or to make this report to look professional, instead of leaving it with error, I can also replace this n/a with the word of my choice, like invalid PO number, something like that. So how do I do that? With the help of if error formula. If error formula will help you to replace the Excel error to your defined value. It can be a number, it can be a date, time, text, anything of your choice. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this VLOOKUP inside the formula if error, open bracket. So if error takes only two input. The first input is your formula. The second input, what you want to see if your actual formula gives an error. So if my VLOOKUP gives an error, I'm just going to the end of the VLOOKUP formula right after the closing bracket. I'm putting a comma. Now it's asking me, what do you want to see? What value you want to show if this gives you error? Well, I would love to see invalid PO. Invalid PO number. So I'm putting that within the double quotes because it's a text. What I'm trying to return. In case if you're trying to return a number or date or time, you can directly type in, hit enter, and let's go ahead and double click, and this time let's watch it. It is not Excel error anymore, it's my own text. So you can see how I used if error to replace the error given by the lookup when it did not find the exact match. So you could see how I got the billing date right now. Similarly, I'm going to get it for the delivery date as well. The same thing. I'm not going to sit and write for the rest of the two. I'm going to leave it for you guys to go ahead and experiment it while you practice by downloading this file. The link for downloading these files will be available in the description section, so you can go ahead and download it for practicing it. So let's go ahead and finish this VLOOKUP by writing one more VLOOKUP for the delivery date. So let's go ahead and first find out where is this delivery date. Okay, so from the PO number column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so I know it's in the 10th column. So let's go ahead and write equal to VLOOKUP. What's the first input? What do you want to search in the common column of the master, comma. Second input, where is your master? Select that master. Let's go to the master, select the entire master, and make sure your master data has the dollar signs in the cell references. Because our master is coming from different Excel, the dollars have came in automatically. If not, you got to do it by using the F4 key, comma. It's asking which column detail you want to extract as an answer. From the common column, it was do you remember, guys? We forgot. Okay, let me count it again. Sorry for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10th column, comma. So when I'm searching the P1 number, I would obviously want to look for the exact match of it. So I'm going to use false, hit the enter. There we go. We got the delivery date. Well, again, we get an error if it doesn't find the exact match. So we're going to, in order to handle the error, we're going to put if error right before the VLOOKUP. And we come to the end of the VLOOKUP, comma. Then what do you want to see instead of the standard errors? I'm going to say invalid PO number. Put that with the double quotes because it's a text. Close the braces, which is for the if error formula. Hit the enter. Now you double click, and that's going to get it done. So now we have seen how do you write VLOOKUP, and in case if you do not find an exact match, what VLOOKUP gives you as an output, and that output, if you don't like it, how do you replace it as per your requirement? That's what we have seen right now. So that is your VLOOKUP. Now let's see HLOOKUP. How the HLOOKUP will work. Is there any big difference compared to VLOOKUP? So let's go ahead and check it out right now. So for HLOOKUP, the file we're going to use is this one. This is our master data, which contains territory wise what's the discount we are offering. So this is the master data. So let's go to the report data, and let's start looking at what we need to do there. So here, if you could see, we got the discount column, we got the territory. We don't know what discount we have to offer for that particular customer. So I have to search each of this territory in this master data and give the respective percentage of discount here, or get the respective discount percentage here. Now the common, we can't say common column right now. We have to start saying the word row. Okay, we cannot say column anymore. We have to say row. So now we go back to the notes. Wherever we saw the word column, now it will turn into row because we are dealing with horizontal table. The datas are kept across, kept in horizontal way, in row wise. So when I talk about checklist, it will become row instead of column. So I need to make sure the common row in the master data is in the leftmost. For vertical, if it's horizontal, topmost. Okay, data type of the common column or the common row should be same. Now lookup value, again it's row. I'm just changing it so that wherever you see the word a column is all row right now when it comes to HLOOKUP. Yeah, all right. So let's go back to the formulas. Here we're going to write the formula equal to HLOOKUP. What to search in the master data territory? I want to search, comma, where is your master? Let's go to the master, watch it. Territory is the topmost row, we kept it, and that's a common column. The data type of both the things are same because they are text, so I don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to simply click on the first header, control shift down, right, just like we did for the VLOOKUP. And we also need to make sure, do we have the dollar signs over there? Yeah, yes, we do have it because the master is coming from a different Excel. If it's from the same Excel, it's your responsibility to do it. Comma, it's asking row index number. So from the common row, the value which you want to extract is present in which row. So the common row is territory. The value which I want to extract is a percentage. So from the territory row, it's a second row which contains a percentage. I want to type the number 2. Comma, again it's asking when you're trying to search the territory name, would you like to search for the exact match of the territory name or approximate match of the territory name? We need the exact match. So we are going to use the word false. Hit the enter. That completes the formula. So we got the percentages. Let's go ahead and double click. Again, when it doesn't find the territory, it's going to give you the errors. We don't have territory 6 here, but it's been set 6 here, so it says not available. So we're going to use if error to handle this error. Just right before the H lookup, if error open bracket, come to the end of the H lookup formula, comma, it's asking what you want to show if your H lookup formula gives an error because it's not able to find the exact match. So we're going to say invalid territory name. Invalid territory name, close double quotes, close the braces for the if error, hit enter. Now let's go ahead and double click to populate for the rest. Here we go. So we got the VLOOKUP and the HLOOKUP to work. Yeah, that is taking us to the end of the video. So in this video, what you guys have understood is when do you need the VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP formula? Okay, and what are the things you have to check before writing the formula? How do you decide when to use VLOOKUP and when to use HLOOKUP? What is the meaning of each and every input in the formula? Okay, all those you have seen it. If you ask me honestly, the scope of using HLOOKUP is very minimal because most of the time the data we are using is all vertical layout. So VLOOKUP will be dominating too much in your Excel experience rather than HLOOKUP. Some of the people convert the horizontal table into vertical table and will still use VLOOKUP only. Yeah. So if you got any queries regarding the VLOOKUP, please mention in the comment section. I'll be happy to help you out to solve your questions. The files will be available in the description section through the downloadable link. You can download and practice. Then please do attend the quiz so that your learnings becomes confirmed. We will meet again with another interesting input in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself. Signing off, Hariharan.